So what we're going to cover in this video is some helpful tips for people who maybe struggle to eat enough calories. So for example, if we've set your calories at 2,000 calories and you're tracking each day and you're someone who's like generally really under eating, maybe that you're struggling to even get to 1,500, this video is for you, and hopefully it'll give you some guidance and understanding to why we need to hit the calories and also how we can do that. What we're going to cover in the video then is, firstly, I want you to understand why it is essential we give our body the correct calories, okay? So usually when people are trying to maybe like lose weight or whatever your goal is in the gym, people always associate, well, if I don't eat as much as I should do, then I'm going to lose fat and get in better shape. And that's a common misconception. So I'm going to explain to you why that isn't always the case, and also why, from a health point of view, it's important that you eat your calories, all right? And then secondly, the most important bit is why you're here and listen to the video, is tips to help you hit your daily calories. And the key word there is efficiently, all right? I want to make this as easy as possible for you, all right? So hopefully some of these tips will resonate with you and you can efficiently hit your calories daily after watching this video. Very quickly then, I just wanted to give you an overview on what happens to our body when we don't eat enough calories, all right? So I'll try and keep this short, but it's quite important that you understand this. So I'll put the first one there as weight loss, all right? Because that might be what you want, and that might be why you're not eating enough, because you're associated with not eating calories, not eating enough calories to weight loss. And what it says there is when you don't eat enough calories, your body will eventually lose body weight. But the key point here is you're going to lose a mixture of fat, muscle tissue, or a combination of both, all right? So for example, if we are not eating enough calories in quite a large deficit, so as I mentioned earlier, if you're meant to eat 2,000 calories and you're eating 1,500, you are 100% going to lose muscle tissue. And that is the last thing we want to do. One, from a physical performance point of view. Two, from an aesthetics point of view. So if you're wanting to fit into a nice dress and look slim, then that's going to impact that if you lose muscle mass. If you're a guy and you're wanting to fill out a t-shirt and feel solid, then yeah, eating not enough calories is going to impact your muscle mass and the way you look. And then thirdly, from a health point of view, as we get older, it gets more and more difficult, one, to maintain your muscle mass, and secondly, to build it. So if we go into our 30s, 40s with no muscle mass, it's going to be very difficult to build that muscle tissue. And then even worse, if we stop training in our 30s and 40s and 50s, once we start losing that muscle tissue, it declines at a rapid rate. All right, so it's important to understand that when we're not eating enough calories, not only will we lose some fat, which is most people's goal, but you're equally going to lose as much muscle tissue, which is a lot more detrimental to your overall health, okay? And then that can lead into these four things here, which I won't read from the screen. You can sort of read them if you're interested, but not eating enough is going to cause fatigue, which is going to impact your daily mood, your performance in the gym, your performance in life, and your job with your kids. It's going to massively affect that. Muscle loss, which I've just covered. Reduced immune system, big one. Again, this is massively going to impact your day-to-day life. If you're not eating enough calories, this means you're more likely to get sick. You're not given the calories and the fuel that your body needs to fuel its immune system. Therefore, you're more likely to get ill, all right? That's why a lot of times when we're working with fighters and stuff, when they're in fight camps and they're losing the weight, or they're doing weight cuts, why they pick up little colds and sniffles and stuff like that, because they're on such low calories, all right? And then finally, hormonal imbalances. Obviously, the body is a very complex machine, and if we don't give it the calories and the food it needs for over a long period of time, it can create imbalances with our hormones, which can lead to a range of health problems, okay? So that's a very quick overview on why we need to eat enough calories. So into the actual tips, which is going to help you eat more calories and hit your target, all right? So I'm just going to work my way through these. We've got 7 to cover 4 on this slide and 3 on the next, all right? So I'll give a very quick overview on all of them. So first one is eat frequently. So opposed to having our conventional 3 big meals like our breakfast, dinner and tea, we could break that down into 4 or 5 smaller meals throughout the day, all right? And how we would do that is just, we could cook our lunch and split it into 2 meals and have one a little bit earlier and one a little bit later. So opposed to eating at 12:30, we might eat at 11 and half 1, and they'd be quite small portions, all right? And then same with our tea. We could have a little bit earlier tea. We could have our tea around 5ish, and then have like the other half of our tea around 6:30. And that way, we're just not looking at a big plate of food and thinking, oh, I've got to eat this big plate of food. It's broken it down into more bite-sized, tolerable meals, if that makes sense, okay? So that's our first tip. Second one is choose calorie-dense foods, all right? So as it says there, focus on foods that pack a lot of calories in a small serving. And as it says, nuts, seeds, avocados, dried fruits and oils. So what we can do there, so for example, when you're cooking, if you're struggling to get your calories in, you could put some coconut oil with your meats, and that's going to add a good 90 to 200 calories every time you use that. So that could really help. Same with nut butters and stuff like that, and seeds and avocados. A handful of nuts is literally about 200 calories. Half an avocado, again, I think is about 200 calories, and then stuff like that is like, it's not going to fill you up at all. You could probably eat it in one go, and then bang, you've got 200-300 calories in the bank. Obviously, you've got to be careful that you don't eat too much, because then you'd end up going over, because there's not a lot of protein in any of them things I've just mentioned. They're very high in fat, which is fine, but we need to make sure we're hitting our protein as well. So that could be a good one to snack on and help you get your calories a bit higher, all right? Next one, drink some calories. So what this means is, this is your protein shakes, this is your smoothies and stuff like that. So a good example of this is when I get up to coach at 6:30 in the morning, I get up at 5:30. The last thing I want to do at 5:30 is eat a bowl of porridge or a big bowl of cereal, whatever it is you're eating. So what I do, I literally just have a protein shake, and I just have it. It's a non-negotiable to me. I don't even think about it. I have 2 scoops of whey with some unsweetened almond milk, and I think it is, I'll tell you now, it is 40 grams of protein and literally 230 calories, which is absolutely nothing, but it gets the protein in there. And then I have a black coffee on the way to the gym. I coach, I get back, I walk the dog, and then after I walk the dog at 9 o'clock, when I've been up nearly 3.5 hours, I then have some porridge. So that way, by incorporating some calories via a drink, it gets me started on my daily target, it gets my metabolism going, and I have been able to stomach it first thing in the morning, all right? So that's the next one. And then the final one, as I mentioned earlier, add healthy fats, all right? So you can use your olive oil, your coconut oil, your avocado, and you could just add that slightly to your meals or your salads, or just anytime you cook, and get the oils going in there in the pan and on the plate, and that is massively over the week going to increase your calories, all right? If you think about it, as I mentioned earlier, coconut oil, say you have a spoonful of that, I think that's a good 150, 200 calories. If you have that every day, every time you cook it and you put it in the pan, over the week, that's what, 7 times, let's just say it's 200, that is 1,400 calories added onto your weekly target. So that's going to help you there, all right? So there's the first 4 tips that we can help to get our calories in. On to the next 3 then. So as I mentioned it earlier, getting some of the higher calorie foods in, but having them as a snack is a great way to get them in. So having like a handful of nuts with you in work, taking them to work. Obviously it says cheese there, which is a good one, but you're not going to take cheese to work, I'm guessing. But if you are in the house, cheese is another good one. It's good calories, you could snack on that. And then nut butters, this is a really good one. Having this on hand when you're in work, you take that to work with like 2 or 3 rice cakes. On one of your breaks, you could just have a bit of nut butter on like a rice cake or a Snacker Jacks or something like that. And that's really going to bump your calories up if you think about it again. Literally a spoonful of nut butter is a good 120, 150 calories. That mixed in with 2 Snacker Jack rice cakes, that's 250 calories. So that, if you're on 2,000 calories, that's a good, what's that? That's an 8 of your calories in one snack. So it's a really effective way of getting your calories in. The big thing with snacking is you've got to make sure you're having some high quality meals as well. But the snacks, they can slot in between and help you bump the calories up, all right? Second to last one then. So I want you to track your calories. Obviously, you should be doing that anyway now if you're either coaching with me one-to-one or you're getting coached at Elevate. You should be tracking all your calories. And even if you're under every day, at least you can physically see it. This is a big one. So we can set your target on MyFitnessPal as 2,000 calories. And then day to day, let's say it's saying 1500 each day. At least you can physically say, okay, I am under here. The next day, I need to eat what I've ate today, and then try and increase it. And at least you're aware of the problem, and you can try work and bump it up each day. Opposed to being like, yeah, I'm eating fine, but in reality you're not. You're not eating enough calories or protein, all right? So this is a big one. Track your calories, all right? And then the final one, which the fact you're all watching this video shows you're doing this, is exercise. Exercise can really increase your appetite. So following a structured strength program that you're doing it, like I said, with me one-to-one or at Elevate, this is really going to help you build your appetite. I've had quite a few people start with me now, and we've had this problem of not being able to hit the calories. And as they've built into the program and they've worked on the nutrition, they've tried the best, the body's adapted, and through the training, through the eating more, and now they're comfortably eating their target. And the body does adapt to it, so that's the point. So adding the exercise can really help stimulate the appetite and get you used to eating a little bit more calories than you used to, okay? Opposed to if we're sitting around all day, maybe at a desk, and then of an evening we're not leaving the house, we're just staying in all day, then obviously we're not going to have a high appetite like we would if we were going to the gym and lifting weights, all right? So to quickly summarise then, this video should have given you plenty of tips to just, even if it's one or two, just to be like, okay, I can utilise that to bump my calories up. And hopefully you can leave this video with a bit of confidence on how you're going to get your calories if you are struggling to hit them, all right? So a couple of key takeaway points. Planning is essential. Whether wanting to gain weight, lose weight, we're eating too much calories, we're not eating enough, you've got to plan your food. And having it ready, having it going with you, having it planned in MyFitnessPal, this is really going to help you hit them calories each day, all right? And as it mentions there, have strategies in place to fit your lifestyle. So that example I've just given you, where I have a protein shake and a coffee, and then 3 hours later have porridge. If you're, for example, working in an office that maybe you're not allowed to just stop and have a bowl of porridge, that wouldn't work for you. So you need to come up with a different strategy to fit your lifestyle. Because if the strategy doesn't fit your lifestyle and you're trying to implement it, it's not going to stick, is it? So it's important that you have something specific to you. And if anyone needs any help with that, then just chat with me or one of the coaches and they can give you some guidance, all right? And then finally, if you flick back to the first slide, understand why it is so important to hit your calories and fuel your body correctly. We do not want to starve the body because we're going to eat muscle mass, which is the most important part of our skeletal system, is to have muscle mass. Even if we want to look skinny, if you want to look skinny, you still need muscle, all right? We still need to have muscle on the bones. Otherwise, you're just going to literally lose all the goodness from your body. You're not going to be able to exercise properly. You're going to end up sick, and you're going to face problems later on in life, all right? So it's important to maintain your muscle mass, even if you want to have a slim body, all right? So that's this week's video. Any questions at all, please just let me know, and hopefully you find it useful in helping you hit your calorie target.